Hi again. Today's lesson is about look, hold, draw. That's a technique that combines control with observation. So it's a little easier to do than the contour drawing. But just like the contour drawing, it's great to have an object to draw that is fairly complicated and unpredictable. So what I've chosen is my purse. Okay, the thing about my purse is that every time I set it down, it looks a little different. So I can't really predict what it's going to look like when I set it on the table over here. You can't see it. I guess I could try to swing this around, but I've got it so perfectly organized, I think I won't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this technique, and it's fairly straightforward. Now, unlike the contour drawing, I don't want to turn myself so that I can't look at my paper. I actually want to organize myself so I can. So I'm going to slide my table over a little bit. You still really can't see my purse very well, but that's just the limitations of the camera here. So I'm going to start, and again, don't worry about composition on these. This is a technique to help you develop your ability to see as well as your hand-eye coordination, and this time you get a little more control in the bargain. So I'm going to start again, just like I do with contour drawing, but this time I'm going to be looking back and forth between the object and the paper. They call it look, hold, draw, because the idea is that you look and you take just a tiny little bit of whatever it is you're drawing, you hold it in your short-term memory, and you transfer it to the paper. You don't want to try to put too much in storage, okay? Because it doesn't take long for you to start making stuff up. I tend to do this very quickly. So for example, I'm going to start with just this little round button, and I'm going to draw that. And then I'm going to look back and I'm going to draw the next line, which is sort of a U-shaped line. And I'm looking back and forth quite often. I would say my timing is probably about 1 second. There's sort of an extra, whoops, this is starting to slide a little bit. I need to adjust my easel, there we go. There's a little bit of an edge to this. So I'm doing about equal amounts of looking at the object and drawing. That's perfect. Don't do this, where you look and then you start drawing and you forget to look back. You need to look back, 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 back. So now I'll do the next line. I'm looking back and forth again. And there's another area here. It ends up looking a lot like a contour drawing in some ways because it is the same kind of line. It's a contour line, which is a more, it's not a hairy line, it's not a sketchy line, it's a very deliberate, slow line. So now I can see that I've got a little loop here. So all that's really changed in this is that you have the ability to look at your paper. That's a double-edged sword, as they say, because when you have the opportunity to look at your paper, your left brain is going to want to take over again. Because it says, oh, I get this, I understand this, let me take this. That's not a good idea. You want to keep your right brain in the loop, in control here. So that's why it's very important to look back and forth. You'll be able to tell when you're in your right brain when language just doesn't come easily. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to keep drawing, and then I'll speed up the part where I'm not talking and come back to regular when I'm talking again. Okay, so here you have a drawing that looks quite a lot like a contour drawing. It has a lot in common, but it also has a quality of control that contour drawing doesn't have. So it's sort of a bridge between contour drawing and regular drawing. There's a few things that I noticed as I was working that I want to point out, and one is that sometimes I do contour drawing when I'm drawing like this, where I have a very complex object like keys. I'm just going to take these keys off because they're actually a great subject for contour drawing and look, hold, draw, because they're complex, right? There's the way they're arranged is going to be different every time. When I'm drawing something like that, I tend to do contour drawing. I stop looking at my paper and I just draw what I see. And other times when I'm drawing, say, parallel lines, then I look at the paper because I need to control where that line is going. And I know it's going to be a mimic of the first line. So there's kind of a combination of looking at more at the subject, looking more at the paper. But you want to find that balance. It shouldn't be you're looking at the paper all the time. That's one of the pitfalls of look, hold, draw, is once you can look at the paper, well, you know, it's a slippery slope to just looking at the paper and not looking at your object. So your drawing should look a lot like a contour drawing when you're done. Okay, well, I think that's it, and see you soon.